come on in. We welcome you. Let go, be free. Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here, spreading love, joy, and cheer. Come on in.
Come on in.
Oh, we welcome.
We welcome.
Oh, we welcome.
We welcome.
We welcome you. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in.
We welcome.
We welcome.
We welcome you.
Let go. Be free.
Come on in and take a seat. We're glad you're here, spreading love, joy, and cheer. Come on in. We welcome.
We welcome.
We welcome. We welcome you. Come on in. We welcome. We welcome. We welcome you. Come on in. Welcome. We welcome. We welcome you. Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in.
Come on in. We welcome you. Come on in. All right, now we'll sing the reveal song. And per Reverend Sunshine's request, we're going to pick it up a little. Rock out the house. All right.
Reveal, reveal the love inside of me.
Reveal the love that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me. Let's sing peace. Reveal, reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. Joy. Reveal, reveal the joy inside of me. Reveal the joy that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, joy is what I see. Reveal the joy in me. Reveal, reveal the love inside of me. Reveal the love that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, love is what I see. Reveal the love in me. Let's sing peace. Reveal, reveal the peace inside of me. Reveal the peace that I was meant to be. 'Cause every time I open up, peace is what I see. Reveal the peace in me. All right, sing all your heart. Joy. Reveal, reveal the joy inside of me. Reveal the joy that I was meant to be. Every time I open up, joy is what I see. Reveal the joy in me.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Christina, for that beautiful opening. And now if you'll find your place here tonight, I invite you to walk into the center of all that is you. Find the stillness that helps you go where you need to remember who you are, that you are God expressing. And I know the truth of that because God is the one presence and the one power that ignites, unites, and fills and fulfills this entire universe of ours. I know that God is the power that brings all divine creation into expression. I know that each one here is a piece of that peace and joy and love and grace that is God as I understand and move into my divine space in, as, and through God, for I am that. And each one here is that peace, that love, that laughter, that joy, that sense of wonder that lives in the breath of God and the life of God, for that is the life of each one here. And so as we open to that, as each one here knows the truth of who they are, life becomes good, it becomes God, it becomes everything that is blessed and whole. For it is real and true that God is expressing and bringing all to fore in this wonderful evening, the time and the minutes that we get to spend together in this love and life and laughter. And I call it so and simply allow it to be. And so it is. Good evening. I am Jan Hartman. I'm a practitioner here at Seaside, and our theme for this month has been, we are who we are. And that's just the truth. We are who we are. And the book that we've been studying and looking into over the course of the month has been Brené Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection. And tonight, Reverend Sunshine is going to talk to us, and the message that she has for tonight is entitled, Live, Love, Laugh. Really? And so I'm going to start with a passage from Brené Brown's book tonight that will give you a little taste of where we're going to go from here. A good belly laugh, singing at the top of your lungs, dancing like no one is looking, are unquestionably good for the soul. But as I mentioned, they are also exercises sometimes in vulnerability. There are many shame triggers around the vulnerability of laughter, song, and dance. The list can include fears of being perceived as awkward, goofy, silly, uncool, out of control, spastic, immature, foolish. What will people think? Everyone is watching. You look ridiculous. Get a hold of yourself. And then she tells this story. Last year I had to run to Nordstrom to pick up some makeup. I was in one of those nothing fits and I feel like Jabba the Hutt moods. So I put on my baggiest sweats, pulled my dirty hair back with a headband, and told my daughter we would only be running in and running out. On the way to the mall, my daughter Ellen reminded me that the shoes her grandmother had bought her were in the back of the car and asked if we could exchange them for a bigger size while we were there. So, after I bought the makeup, we headed to the kids' shoe department. As soon as we cleared the top of the escalator, I saw a trio of gorgeous women standing in the shoe department. They were tossing their long, clean hair over their narrow, square shoulders as they perched on high-heeled, pointed-toed boots and watched their equally beautiful daughters trying on some sneakers. As I tried to avoid crumbling and comparing myself to them by focusing on the display shoes, I saw a strange blur of jerky movement out of the corner of my eye. It was my Ellen. A pop song was playing in the neighboring children's department, and Ellen, my totally confident 8-year-old, was dancing. Or to be more specific, she was doing the robot. At the very moment that Ellen looked up and saw me watching her, I saw the magnificent moms and their matching daughters staring right at Ellen. The mothers looked embarrassed for her, and the daughters, who were a couple years older than Ellen, were visibly on the edge of doing or saying something mean-spirited. Ellen froze in her robot stance, looked over at me, and with her eyes said, "What do I do, Mom?" Some combination of some miracle that was louder than my fear said to me, "Don't betray her. Choose Ellen." I reached down into my courage as far as I could go, smiled and said, "Well, I think you need to add the scarecrow to those moves." I let my wrist and hand dangle from my extended arm and pretended to bat my forearm around. Ellen smiled. We stood in the middle of the shoe department and practiced our moves until the song was over. I'm not sure how the onlookers responded because I didn't take my eyes off Ellen.
Don't worry. Thank you. I just love that story, reading that story this week. Good evening, everybody. What a joy it is to be here with you. Thank you, Jan, for that beautiful prayer and for the reading for today. It was so great that we were so coordinated because I was going to tell that story during my talk. And she said, "Hey, I can read it, and then you get it out of the way." Gives you more time to talk. Love it. So yeah, the talk title is Live, Love, Laugh. Really? How many of us can really be at a department store and really allow ourselves to do the scarecrow? Or do the robot, or do whatever, and just be out there. How many of us get so paralyzed by fear that we don't allow ourselves to really live out fully? What is it about what we've been taught through society, through our media, maybe through our parents, maybe through some family members or schools, that help to keep us in a box, that helps to keep us small, that helps to really keep us not fully living? Is there an opportunity, though, as a result of not only Brene Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection, and her chapter on Live, Love, Laugh, but is there an opportunity for us to really step out of that box and live our full potential and really live our true selves? Now, I know, she read off the list, the long laundry list of looking silly, of not being cool. I mean, the fear that paralyzes us. And Wednesday nights is not that hallmark, dance like no one's watching. Sing like no one's listening. And yet, the intention behind those Hallmark cards or those sayings are really about us being and living our full lives. And that it's not so corny after all, but that it is there indeed as encouragement for us to look at the places where we are very proper and where we, don't allow ourselves to really fully express. At the beginning of the month, when we first started reading the book and we first started talking about the gifts of imperfection, we looked at the word courage. And we talked about courage coming from the Latin word corazon or cor, that really meant that I'm able to stand before you and fully tell you and fully express to you all that is in my heart. That's the true meaning of courage, that it's not necessarily braverism as a result of maybe some violent or some hairy activity or situation, but that it is the ability for me to stand before you and tell you and show you all that is within my heart, whether I think you're going to accept me or not. And it's so wonderful that she ends her book with this final chapter before her final thoughts about live, love, and laugh, because it is indeed the opportunity that we've had over several weeks to practice courage, to practice being ourselves, to practice living full out who we are, to the extent that we're able to be like Ellen, her 8-year-old daughter, just being present in the moment, looking at shoes and singing and, doing the robot. But there's the idea that we have something to lose if we behave in such a manner. There's this idea that if I behave or if I show who I really am, that I may not be accepted, or that I may be kicked out of a particular group, or that I may not be in some league or some club or whatever the case may be. I think I want to be bold enough to say that if I am myself and I get kicked out for being who I am, that I probably never really belonged in that group or that club or that league or that whatever in the first place. Because for us to have this opportunity to live our life fully is to also accept that God is expressing beautifully and magnificently as each and every one of us. Many of you know that my beloved sonny Daye has been sick, and we've been in and out of doctor's appointments and hospitals and going through that. The other day we were at a hospital, and they had wheeled her off to go do some x-rays and do some testing, and I stayed in the room. And while I'm in the room, I'm playing solitaire with some real-life cards, not on the machine. And I found myself singing Reveal. And I guess people were in the corridors and and when she came back, and here I am just singing and just kind of like, whatever, it just helped what it did for me was it helped me to remember my truth, number one. Number two, it helped to calm these busy thoughts and ideas of where's everybody, how come we're not out of here yet, and all of that good stuff. But three, and unbeknownst to me, it helped the people that were kind of passing by to give them permission to be and do whatever it was that they were there to be and do, and how they were able to express. What was most funny about the whole thing is that it was time to leave, and finally the nurse who had come on, she was on a new shift, and finally she came in and she says, I know that I was supposed to check y'all out about 10 minutes ago, but I was so enjoying your singing, I don't really want y'all to leave. And it's like, hurry up, let us go. Hurry up, let us go. But interestingly enough, that they work in an emergency room. They're working at a hospital. Really, how many folks are busy singing? They don't even have music playing, there. But to know that somehow or another, by me having the freedom to just sing, I wasn't singing at the top of my lungs, but I was singing enough to where I can hear it. I heard it with my ears. I took it in, not only to my mind, but I took it into my heart space. I mean, I was singing it like I meant it. It was like just, the love that I'm meant to be, the joy that I'm meant to be, the peace that I'm meant to be, and whatever song it is that you grab onto, whether it's Taylor Swift. I don't know. Whatever song it is, a good country song, be with it. And not just in your car when you're by yourself, but allow yourself to just be full out at any opportunity. We never know when we create a memory. We never know when we create a memory. We never know when just us allowing ourselves to be and do, to live, to love, to laugh, to sing out loud, to dance. We never know when that opportunity creates a memory in the mind of someone else, like that nurse. I didn't want y'all to go because I was just so enjoying hearing, and it's just a little ditty that we do here on Wednesday nights, right? At least that's what I thought. But she was so touched by it and just wanted to hear it. It's like, oh, wow, y'all have to go. What happens even when we get compliments like that, or even when someone is touched by it, we're actually touching more and more and more people than we actually know. So here's what I mean by that. What's in an acorn? An oak tree, right? What I'd like us to do is think a little bit beyond that. What's in an acorn is a forest. Because not only is that oak tree in the acorn, but it has more acorns, and it has the potential of being a forest. So truly, truly, the forest is in the acorn. Truly, truly, the lives that one person touches is like a forest. And we never know when we are truly living out fully when we're touching a multitude and a myriad of people. We never know whether our story, whether this experience is actually making it into a book or into a magazine because someone is so touched by it that they write about it, or that they tell someone else about it, or that it goes viral on the internet. We never know. But what we do when we allow ourselves to be free is that we allow life to prove itself. We allow our life to be the display of God, simply saying, hey, I don't care if you think I'm not cool or silly or goofy. I get to be. I get to be. So what? I remember one time, we were taking a bunch of pictures, some friends and I, and I always want to stand in a particular way, or, just which is my good side or whatever. And I remember we were at restaurants and people always go, oh, wait, don't catch me with food in my mouth, because it's always like biting the chicken leg or something. And when I thought about that for a little bit, it was like, you taking a picture? Like, go ahead and grab it. I'm eating some food here, like here's a big old piece of cake. Because it was silly, but it wasn't just that it was silly, but it captures life. And if that's what we do in life, that's what we do in life. Let us be free about it. Let's not be closeted about us eating. We eat. If every actor were to be concerned with DVDs and VHS videos going out and the possibility that you can freeze frame on it when it's like, they wouldn't make movies. But the truth is that in every activity, there's going to be some strangeness about when we pause or who we are. So we might as well just go ahead and be. Might as well. We are who we are. The theme of the month, we are who we are. So why should we hide that? Why should we hide our light under a bushel? Why should we be all and only show like, ta-da, I feel great now, let me show myself off, and then hide when we're not feeling at our best or when we don't look our best? Let's be real. It's all God. And if I truly believe that it's all God, then it's all God when I think I'm not looking my best or feeling my best, and it is when I am. And the bottom line is that it is an indication that I get to change my thinking around the judgments that I have around myself. Ernest Holmes talks about that a little bit. It's interesting. I didn't know Ernest Holmes. I wonder if he laughed. Because I was looking in the back in the index for the word laugh to get a good reading for tonight, and there's nothing that's laughable. There's nothing. There's no laughing. You know, and I checked today, too. I was like sitting in there with Jan, and I said, let me just check one more time, because maybe I was tired when I was looking. And I looked in the back. There's nothing for laugh. I'm like, did the man laugh or what? What's up? Somebody tell me who knew him, you know, who was around. I have to talk to Reverend Leo, Marianne, Reverend Leo. She could tell me. But on a serious level, right, when we judge ourselves too harshly, it is an indication of our thinking, and we get to change that to such a degree where we begin to accept ourselves and to really know that the more and more I judge myself harshly, or the more and more I try to hide these things about myself that I think are quirky or silly or whatever, that really what I am in effect telling myself is that this is not God, or that this is not good, or that this can't be the life of God, because the life of God has to show up in a different way. Excuse me. So on page 29 of The Science of Mind, it says, to learn how to think is to learn how to live. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. For our thoughts go into the medium that is infinite in its ability to do and be. Man, or humans, by thinking, can bring into their experience whatsoever he desires, if he thinks correctly and becomes a living embodiment of his thoughts. This is not done by holding thoughts, but by knowing the truth. So when I allow myself to be driven by fear, when I allow myself to be dictated to by my ego, meaning I have to look and present a particular way in order to gain the respect of all these wonderful people here at Seaside. I can't possibly be silly or do the robot or, wear my jeans to the podium or, whatever other litany of stuff that we say, that we can't do because then how can we gain the respect? Or, oh, no, you can't, possibly do that. You won't. It's like, if I don't have it, I never really did have it. And what about that is not God? If it is all God, then it's all God. It cannot be God in some instances, but be God in other instances. It gets to be. I get to be the way God expresses in this lifetime, in this particular cycle of moons. I get to be God of sunshine and show up in this way with the joy and the peace and the love and the laughter and the tears as well. So let's examine for a moment the things that hold us back or that prevent us from really stepping into living that fullness. What is it? And when we get the answer to that, stop it. Just stop. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Oh, I'm too old for that. I'm a professional. I can't be acting that way. Of course. of course you can enjoy your life. I'm not saying to go ahead and do something silly just for the sake of doing something silly, but if you're given to be and do, then allow it. Give it its sway. Give it its way to just allow it to be and to come forth and to express. It is not for you anyway. It is so that others may have the opportunity to recognize that freedom and give them the allowance, if you will, and the permission to be free themselves. By our very being stuffy and just kind of held back and in control, if we think we're in control of situations, what we're saying in effect is, I don't trust life. I don't trust God. I get to be this way. I have to be this way. But when we allow that natural state of laughter, I mean, some people have the best laugh. And some people have laughs that when you hear them laughing, that it makes you laugh. Because I can't even do it. But that kind of stuff for me, it just makes me laugh. And how grateful I am that that person, no matter how their laugh sounds, that they laugh anyway, and that they don't judge themselves so harshly, because then it allows me to laugh. It allows me to laugh so much that I snort when I laugh. You know what I mean? And people snort, so what? I mean, like, really? When Ernest Holmes talks about how we think, so if we're constantly judging ourselves to the place where we don't allow ourselves to be free, what we constantly are putting into the medium, that creative medium, what we're constantly then creating is opportunities to judge, to hurt, opportunities to withdraw, opportunities to be isolated. And if you're sick and tired of being isolated, if you're sick and tired of withdrawing or not feeling a part of, there's the key right there. Laughter, loving, dancing, all of that is an opportunity to connect. It's an opportunity to recognize our oneness. I know that Brene talked about it here, but I remember when Michael Jackson died, and someone made the comment on television or Twitter, or they were tweeting or pooping or whatever that is, tweeting. They made the comment, he's the soundtrack to my life. You know, his music was the soundtrack to my life, you know? And how is it that we use music in our lives to feel connected? Maybe to the lyrics. Maybe when we hear a particular song, it connects us to a time in our lives when we were in love or in, elementary school, but it just brings back that feeling of being alive and being connected to somebody. I know that that's the way that it is for me. Brene Brown talks about in her book how she was watching, and I'm very in tune to this because Jim Bianchi has been so great. He's loaned us like all these videos since Sonny's been home, to watch these videos. And Brene talks about getting a director's cut movie, and that there was this scene in the movie. And in the director's cut, you have the full-out movie, but then you also have the movie without the soundtrack. Without the soundtrack. So she talks about watching it, this emotional scene, and she says that she hardly even recognized the music that was just underneath it. But then she watched that same scene without the music and how it fell flat. It did not invoke anything it was just like, Where here it was like, the music helps to keep us feeling alive, keeping that connection, keeping us in touch with our divine humanity, to where we have an opportunity to connect with the actor or the situation or the lyrics or whatever. I mean, music is amazing. That's why I love our musicians. I love when we have an opportunity, right? Oh my gosh. Because it's just an opportunity to really feel alive. And so what are the things that you get to participate in, or that you even get to use it as a spiritual practice? Because you know what? A lot of times we come to spiritual community, it's like, okay, prayer, meditation, affirmation. I mean, dancing is a spiritual practice, y'all. So in a moment, we're going to use the aisles. It's so funny. It's funny because some of you are like, yeah, some of you are like, what? Where's the exit? How can I leave my donation but get out quickly? How do we use dancing as a spiritual practice? How do we use music in our spiritual practice? How do we use laughter as a spiritual practice? It is indeed a spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be all meditation and you know. It's just like, wow, we get to expand and use these methods that are here for our good, that are here for our feeling connected in order to grow, in order to unfold. So in my talk title, there was a question mark. Live, love, laugh? Really? Yeah, really. Really. Go out this week. Go out today. Tell those silly, funny jokes that are appropriate. I was with a group of teachers today, and I told my favorite joke, and I know Sunny's live streaming and watching me tonight. She goes, oh, no, please don't tell that one. But I'm going to tell it, and then we're going to get into meditation. So there was this wide-mouthed frog hopping along in the jungle, and it comes across a giraffe. And it says, hi, I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies. The giraffe says, well, I'm a giraffe, and with my long neck, I eat the leaves on the trees. So the wide-mouthed frog hops along and sees the lion. Says, hi, I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies. And the lion says, I'm the king of the jungle, and I love eating impalas. So the wide-mouthed frog hops around some more and finally comes to a hippopotamus and says, hi, I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies. And the hippopotamus says, well, I'm a hippopotamus, and I eat wide-mouthed frogs. Oh, you do? All right, some of you will get it later on. How can we use laughter to really step into the truth of who we are? How can we allow ourselves to sing and dance and really live full out without being afraid of what we look like? Let's just go into the silence for a few minutes to see if there's one place where we can begin to just step out, maybe put our big toe in the water. And we might just kind of see if we can just really be ourselves, not acting, not being phony, but in those moments where we just want to be ourselves and we're afraid to really step into just being our true selves, regardless of what others may think about who we are. But standing in the truth that right where I am, God is. Right where I am, God is. And that's how I think. And that's what I allow myself to know on a regular basis. That right where I am, God is. how good it is to simply be in the silence, even for a moment, recognizing the one power, the one life that is God, living beautifully and magnificently as each and every one of us. Right where we are, God is. Our life is the life that God is. God is living us right now. Therefore, I give thanks that I can live fully and express fully all of who I am, all of who God is as me. And anything that blocks, interferes, or obstructs the path of me fully living my full divine human life. With the power of this word, we simply move those things out of the way. Any fear, any doubt, any ideas of looking silly or uncool, we just simply allow those thoughts, those false ideas, to simply dissolve into the nothingness from which they came. And we simply allow the divinity that is our life to come forth and to shine forth in such a way that by us fully living this divine human life, by us fully living the life of God divine as us, that we become an attraction that others might also find that same freedom. That others may be courageous enough to step into their divinity, their joy, that they may dance in the streets and laugh until tears of joy flow from their eyes. That we're able to love to such a degree that we can embrace in the aisles of the supermarket and not be concerned with who's watching. But that folks may witness love in action, life in action, laughter in action, singing in action, dancing in action, God in action. How grateful I am that today we say yes to that. Whether it's a little bit more or a lot more, but that we say yes to the willingness to allow our life to be lived to the fullest degree. Therefore, proving that we know that our life is that life that God is. So for this and so much more, I give thanks, abundant thanks, for the privilege to know this truth, to speak this word, and to have so many in agreement. So I simply release this word now into the activity of the law, knowing that as it is in the invisible, it is then made manifested in the visible. And we joyfully expect to see and experience our life of joy, of laughter, of dancing, of singing and living it out in a full way. It is so, and so it is. Amen. Thank you so much for your loving consciousness, and thank you so much for engaging in that meditation, for being here tonight. It is our conscious giving time where we consciously give of what we've brought to share with our spiritual community. It's time where we invite our ushers forward give them an opportunity to be of service in a big way. So the invitation is to take that which you've bought to share with this spiritual community and to hold it in your hand or hold it next to your heart and bring to mind something or someone that you're grateful for. And it is with that spirit of gratitude that we give to this community. We give from that place so that as we give from this place, we know that we have been gifted. And so this is actually just a regifting. That which we have been given so generously, so joyously, we now also share with this spiritual community that it may bless those who enter these doors, those who may watch us live streaming, those who may read the literature or the website, that they too might also know their life as the life of God. So thank you so much for the gifts that you've brought to share with this spiritual community. Bestow upon it your own blessing. Go forth, ushers, and multiply. And it's so great because I say this every week, that as you give, you get to receive. And what you get to receive right now is the beautiful music of our artists that we've had all month long, Christina Veronica. She has blessed us so much with her music this whole month of March. Thank you so much for being with us, and we get to receive the blessing that is her and her gift of music. So thank you.
So she said, wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am is in nature. That's where I see God. And that's what this song is about. It's called Thank You for the Beauty. I came to you so weary. You know all the reasons why. I need to get lost in all your beauty. I want to find that place inside. I know it's always there, but I can't always see. I'm moving way too fast, getting lost inside of me. As I was walking by the sea, the rain was falling, coming down on me. Then suddenly I could see, as tears of joy poured out of me. Hey, yeah. So thank you for the beauty. Thank you for the sea. Thank you for the rain of tears that gently opened me. The big blue open sky. Thank you for the beauty, oh God. Thank you for the stars. Now I feel wide open, reconnected to your love. And when I stay grounded in your beauty, I find that place where I'm enough. And I know it's always there. Now I think I see when I'm moving way too fast. 'cause I know to look inside of me. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So thank you for the beauty. Thank you for the sea. Thank you for the rain of tears that gently opened me. Thank you for the sunlight and the big blue open sky. Thank you for the beauty, oh God. Thank you for this life. Thank you for the beauty, oh God. Thank you for this life. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Christina.
Thank you for that beautiful song.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you, Jim. Amazing. All right, we have a few minutes where we get an opportunity to hear from you, where we get an opportunity to learn and hear from our community. So take it away.
Thank you. I really, really love music. I grew up Girl Scouts and church. The songs really carried me in nature. And then I'd come home and you have to be very, very quiet because my dad was sick. And he, if you are singing or humming the songs, what's wrong with you? Are you talking to yourself? Anyway, but then you just grow stronger inside. So then on my own, I'm just naturally all the time singing, humming, and stuff like that. So at work, when they want to know, well, who were you working with? What woman? What did she look like? The one that, while she was humming, oh, that's Cindy. This is fun. And then my mom, when she was passing, and my older sister would kind of grill her, well, did you see people today? Who were you talking to? And she couldn't quite get my name out, but she did say, well, you know, Sunshine. So that was fun. Nice. And then on the meditating, last week I realized I was meditating in hiding because in my house, if you were, you couldn't sit still. You had to be quiet, but you had to be doing stuff. If you were sitting still, you were, what's wrong with you? You should be playing or, you know, or get out there and help your mom or do something. So the meditating is really neat. I pop up my pillows in the morning so I can get up now. It used to be I had trouble getting up. And then they're waiting for me when I get home. So in the meditating, I found, and the music, I found this last week, I had a kind of an enemy at work, a difficult person, and I had felt hurt. And then I was doing my process on her, and then I just found that she was, like that song, she was in my heart space. So anyway, miracles. And then in my meditation space now, in my bedroom, he doesn't recognize it. I'm transforming it. I'm making it really nice and pretty.
He will now.
And it's really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know, it's interesting because we never know how we're being taught to either be free and to be fully expressive, or where we're actually taught to calm it down a little bit. Don't be so silly. Just be. Who's gonna close us out? Oh, hello, beloved.
Hello. Helen Keller said, life is a daring adventure or nothing at all. I loved it so much. Helen Keller said that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Life is a daring adventure or nothing at all. Yeah. So how many of us get a chance to step into that adventure? One more? Right here. Oh, yes. In the back. I love it. No, you were right on time. Because I got a chance to connect with you. I saw you, and it was like you was going like this. I said, oh, good. Somebody's still awake. They with me. I love it. What's your name?
My name is Zoe, and I just moved here about 5 days ago. I was working with kids in an ice cream shop.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm working with a lady who's in a wheelchair. And I have to slow my roll.
Okay.
I've never meditated in my life, so I think God sent me here. Because I got to learn how to meditate, got to slow down a little bit. Today I did her gardening, and it's funny because the song was about garden stuff like that. So there I was working her garden, tilling it out, and then I brought out a pamphlet. She goes, okay, you go down on Lake Road and boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, I'm in here with you, and I'm meditating. I don't know how to meditate. I'm going to the bathroom. But you know what? It's wonderful. It's great. Now I got a place to kind of, I'm going to learn how to slow it down, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Welcome, Zoe, right? Welcome. All right. Absolutely. No, high on God. I love that. Thank you, Zoe. You know, there's no mistakes as to how we get here or what it is we get an opportunity to learn. And what I can tell you is that meditation really even elevates us a little bit more. So welcome. Welcome to Seaside and welcome to yourself. Welcome to yourself. Because you will get to know yourself in a beautiful way more than you've ever even known was possible. Speaking of what's possible, our evening is made possible by so many people. So on the green sheet that's in your program, this is kind of my weekly prayer list as well, because these are the people who come and serve on Wednesday nights. And I keep them in my prayers. It's kind of like, oh, good. I put them up, and I pray for these folks, because they just so lovingly give of their hearts, of their times, of their talents. So I want to make sure that I thank the practitioners that are sitting in the back. They've been holding vigil for us. In other words, they've been knowing the divine unfoldment of our service this evening, and they've been just simply tapping into that one mind, that one presence that is God, and knowing that as it is in the mind of God, it is here. And so we've had a wonderful time. So thank you to Kathy and Ellen and Denise for holding vigil, holding the light. And thank you, Jan, who also represented our practitioners here on the stage. Our practitioners will be available in the chapel as you exit to the left. If you'd like prayer so that you can sing more or dance more, or if there's a challenge, or if there's just the gratitude prayer, our practitioners are going to be available to you to pray with you. So we're going to ask that you exit out through the family room and that you hang out in the family room for a little bit with us and have some tea and cookies and some snacks and fellowship with us, so that this way those that are exiting that way are actually going to be in prayer, so that we can keep it pretty quiet. Thank you again to our musician of the month. Where are you? Back there, Christina Veronica. She's been with us again the whole month of March and just blessing us with our music. Thank you, Jim. A mainstay here at the Revealing Experience. Thank you so much. And our sound team tonight is represented by Melanie. Thank you so much for your help. And Annette and Tim are in the back. They're doing our video. And our video is live streamed on Wednesday nights now, which is really, really cool as we're getting up to speed. Just like a Sunday service, and it's also in the archives. So if you missed a Wednesday, or if you want to hear it again, you can go to the website, and they're posted up there. So thank you to the video crew that is just developing and growing. And of course, want to thank Jenny Mills, our practitioner, who's in charge of the logistics and making sure that everything is going well. Yeah, Tim? I got a picture on there now? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. That's so wonderful that we have an opportunity to do that. All right, in our bookstore is the book for next month. It's the 40-Day Mind Feast and Soul, Mind Fast and Soul Feast by Michael Bernard Beckwith. That'll be the book for the month next month. Next week's title is She Works Hard for the Money. And I'm not talking about myself in the third person. But that's what we have to look forward for next month. Yay. We get to pray. And the great thing about our closing prayer is that it's a song. So the invitation is to rise Rise from your seat, rise in consciousness. And the song is in our programs. If you're new, welcome. It's in your programs. It's called In Love We Stand. And we get to sing full out. You can leave my mic on too. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see, with open hearts and open hands. We lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see, with open hearts and open hands. We lift our voices, in love we stand. This is our prayer, a song of peace. We get to be the change we want to see, with open hearts and open hands. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. We lift our voices, in love we stand. Go forth and prosper. See you in the family room.
You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. But if that light is under a bushel, it's like something kind of crucial. You got to have light to be the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Oh, that tallest candlestick ain't much good without a wick. You've got to have light to be the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men. Let your light so shine, that's right, so that they might know some kindness in them. Da, 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 da. I was trying to think of something fun to say. Here we go. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. Calling out around the world. Are you ready for a brand new beat? Summer's here, time is right, dancing in the street. Sweet, 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 sweet music, there'll be music everywhere. Swing and sway. You wanna sing along? Dancing in the street. Time to go dancing in the street. All you need is music, sweet, sweet music, music everywhere. They'll be swinging, swaying, record playing, dancing in the street. It doesn't matter what you wear, just as long as you are there. Come on, everyone. I usually knew the song. All right. Oh, just dancing, dancing in the street.